creative studies.
Keeping it real. First time I heard that phrase was, I believe, around 1991. I was a big part of the, I guess you would call, underground community in the early 90s, a loosely connected collective of DJs that spun future facing music. Most of it we think of now as underground hip hop. This music was highly political. You know, you look back on it now, 30 years ago, when you talk about, looking at hip hop, people are like, what do you mean it was highly political? Number one, the clubs didn't really want you to program it. They almost had like an anti hip hop sentiment. The second thing is when you did play it, people loved it because, and I don't know who said this to me. So if you are out there watching this, if you love hip hop will always love you back. And I think I really felt that for the first time in the early 90s when I remember I think the first hip hop record I ever dropped in front of people was A Tribe Called Quest's Check the Rhyme. In any case, keeping it real was a really important phrase because if you live long enough, you'll spot patterns. And what I'm starting to see now is that people are yearning not just for freedom, not just for wanting more collective power, but they are yearning for realness, a reality that we have not felt for a very long time. I blame most of this on the grifters, the imitators, the hypocrites, the prompt addict junkies who think that if they type something into a large language model like ChatGPT, that makes them intelligent or creative. Yet they have no real lived experience. We're yearning for fresh voices who have these lived experiences, who can share their knowledge with us, who can give us examples of, hey, during one time when that happened to us, this is what we did. We're in some interesting times right now. We can't necessarily listen to the voices who might think, well, I've done things a particular way. If we just apply that to now, it will work. That's not working. Nor can we really listen to a lot of the voices out there who might say, well, I'm highly influential. I'm very popular. And therefore, that means I know what I'm talking about. Nah, that's not really the case at all. Keeping it real. You know, we called a lot of people corporate sellouts. You had a lot of people who really wanted to just sell and be influential and basically denote that they were sellouts. And for some reason, that became a very popular trend as influencer culture got big. I mean, if you think about it, the whole point of influencer culture, sadly, is selling a bunch of goods, showing off your hauls, talking about how important you are because you have money. That's not going to cut it anymore because we are yearning to keep it real. We're yearning for realness. We're yearning to get away from the fakery. We're entering a realness era again, one that I see in real life all around me. Because when you meet with people in real life, you can basically tell immediately if they're bullshit or if they're real. Can't do that behind a digital facade. Can't do that behind a bunch of fake resumes. You can't do that behind a Twitter or an X profile. And so, what we're really looking for, what we're seeking for, is not just human touch and humanity, but a yearning for realness again, a yearning for realness in life, for people we can look up to as mentors, for people who we want to apprentice with, for people who we just say, you know what? I like this person. I feel like we can get along. Let's do some interesting things together, whether that's collectively organizing, whether that's making sure that the people in your community are safe, whether that's making sure that the older people in your community are checked on every once in a while so we know that they're actually okay. The tech dweebs wanted all of us to think we could live our lives locked away in some room with a big, uh, what the hell do you call those again? Headset strapped onto our foreheads and do everything by ourselves and be happy that we were doing all these things by ourselves and living in the metaverse and ultimately becoming the first solopreneur trillionaire. What? Come on. Stop faking that funk and let's keep it real. I'm Jeffrey Cologne for Creative Studies.
Creative Studies.